So I'm going to take a wild guess and say that many of you have probably seen this by now. This is in replacement of a mahl stick. Now, I saw this on Facebook Marketplace, as it happens. There was an advertisement come up for Gerbuys, or Gerbuys, whatever you want to call them. I think it's probably Gerbuys. And I thought, well, that looks rather good. And I've never seen it before, and I thought, well, I'll give it a try. I contacted the company, and they sent me out two. They sent me out this short version, which is probably about 2 foot long, and then they sent me out the long version, which is about 3 foot long. Now, I don't know what I was expecting, and I have given them my feedback, and I'm now about to tell you my thoughts as well. Right, so what we have here, the concept, I believe, is brilliant. The idea is brilliant. The presentation of it, not so much, and I've told Gerbuys this. However, I think the usefulness of this will outweigh that, because at the end of the day, we're all artists, we're all painting, we're all going to get paint over the top of it, aren't we? So, you know, whether it looks plush or not is irrelevant, really. But there are certain things that come to mind. Right, this is made up of hooks like this, and one long piece of wood. Now these pieces of wood come in either 2 sections or 3 sections, and in the middle here, as I will show you, is a screw. And you just screw them together. They all come apart, you put the screws in, and then you just tighten these up, and then you have your long rod. Now, they don't always sit flush, so you might have to just bend it back a bit. And they have these hooks, as I said. Now, when these hooks come to you, there is none of this on them. However, they do give you a little piece of black tape, and that's underneath this at the moment. This is all little things I've done to it just to make it slightly better. Now, these hook behind the picture, and they use gravity to sit there. The problem you may come up against is that if your canvas isn't as thick as this part here, then it's not going to sit flush like that, and it's going to drop. Now that isn't a problem. I mean, as you can see here, this one has dropped, and there's still some stability, so that's good. I don't like the fact that it doesn't come with these, because these are quite sharp, and it can dig into your canvas. However, that is minimal. The other problem you have is whatever's behind this. So I have a easel behind this, and I have a gap about that much. But if the nose of this duck-shaped piece hits that piece of wood, then it's going to push it out, isn't it, like this? And then it becomes unstable. So you have to work out what is best. I have worked out that putting a board behind whatever you're painting on gives you that width. So then you have the width here, and you have the width here, and that will sit nicely on it. The bottom line is you're going to have to work out how to put this on if you wanted to use it. Once you've got it on, it's kind of quite nice. Now I have made adjustments to this. I have bought some rubber and put that on these sharper areas. I'm hoping that's going to make that slightly better. And I've bought some electrical tape and put round these edges, just so that they slide a bit better. And these bits apparently are for paintbrushes, so you can put your paintbrushes in here and hold them in there. So, kind of like this. Once you've got it set up, it's okay. it's probably a bit more stable than a mole stick, but also a bit more fiddly. So once you've got this set up, you can lean your hands on it, and this is where I've put my rubber so it don't dig into whatever I'm doing. In this case it doesn't matter because it's digging into a board and the picture starts there, so it's not a problem. But you can then just, you know, do your details to your heart's content. And I actually really like that idea. I think the concept of this is fantastic. It's just the presentation, and I suppose you'll call it the quality of it. It's not the best in the world, but one outweighs the other, in my opinion. You have to decide whether you are bothered about what this looks like. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not the best. And these are sharp. But you can then adjust this. If you have the bigger one, I think it would be better, because you can then do bigger pictures. But you could adjust this to go at an angle, and you can lean on it. You can do whatever you want to do. You can even use it to draw straight lines. And you'll see all this in the advertising on Gerbuys. I let a couple of people in my art group use it. They actually thought it was really good, and I even had one of the ladies, Cheryl, who's absolutely fantastic. She's doing the best picture of her life right now, and she said to me the other day she wouldn't have been able to do what she has done if she had not had this. Now, that's not me saying that, that's Cheryl, and that's an independent person in my art group. So I believe that that's brilliant. But you have to work out, is the cost of this worth making that investment? I would say, well, yes, because it's not a massive cost, and it's going to last you, well, let's be honest, forever. And I think that would be brilliant. I mean, you can just come further back and do whatever you need to do. Let me get an oil pastel just to show you what I mean. So, for example, if I was putting in details here, I can just stroke them in here, and I've got lots and lots of control. That's fantastic. I found that when I was doing this ladder, it got a bit wobbly. I wanted it a lot straighter, and with this tool I'll be able to do that, and I'll then be able to refine the edges to my heart's content. So the concept and the idea, brilliant. 10 out of 10 for that, if I'm being honest. The presentation, probably a 6 out of 10. I think they just need to find a way of making this a little bit better. Now, I'm going to come up with something that is going to help you, I hope. You may look to buy one of these somewhere like Temu, but they only sell these hooky parts. Do not buy them from Temu, because what you end up with is something half the size of this, half the thickness of this, and when you put it on here, the metal parts bend. So do not buy this on Temu with the idea of putting this wood in between. It works out a lot cheaper, but it will work out that you will just not be able to use it. So go over to Gerbuys if you fancy one of these. I feel it's worth having. I feel you need to work out the best way for you, work out what thickness you need, work out what easel you need, and then you can use it to your heart's content. Once you've done that, you'll have stability, control, and just be aware that it can drop. There are times when it can even drop down to there, dependent on the thickness of your board. So you can make it drop down to there by widening these duck parts. But it may even lean on your picture, but it doesn't matter, it's still protecting you from that picture. So the idea and the concept is absolutely amazing. And It's not hard to use, it just takes a bit of getting used to and a bit of fiddling. I believe there's a discount code for it. I'll put it in the description. I'll give you a link. If you fancy it, go over, buy yourself one. I do recommend it. At the same time, I will say that you're going to have to get used to it. But once you have, you've got stability, control for any type of painting, any type of canvas. This is paper on board. Just get yourself a bit of a thicker board, but even if you don't, it just means this will drop and go closer to your picture. It's only gravity, you see, so it just drops. But yeah, well worth the investment. Don't expect anything too plush, and it's going to make your detailed drawing a lot easier. Right, so first off, please forgive the unshaven look. There is a reason for it. I'm letting this grow a bit, but that's another story. I'd like to say hello to Lynette Holshier from New Zealand. She sent me an email this morning. Absolutely thrilled to bits to get that, I was. And Lynette, you've done a great job on your Neo Art picture. And yeah, onward and upwards, I say. I've attached Lynette's picture for you to have a look at. I think, considering it's Neo Arts, she's done an incredible job. I'd also like to say hello to all of my members that I currently have. I have 8 members. Please join as a member. In my awesome artist level, go over and see what the perks are. I have Joy. And then in my amazing artists level, which is my starter level, which is less than 50p per week, I've Angie Shower, Annie Stone, Sue Wright, Judith Sofa, yes I am reading it, and Avril, David Cornwell and Lynn Price Art. But going back to this tool, it's worth it, it's definitely worth it, and there's nothing worse than having a paintbrush in your hand working on an easel and floating in mid-air. There's nothing worse than that. You can't get the detail you want. You're going to end up going crooked. But with this, it kind of gives you something to just rest your hand on and to then get the stability that you need. I mean, if you're looking for loose painting, it doesn't really... that's not what this is for anyway. But it's worth it, and please have a look at the discount code. So anyway, from a sunny England again, and a disappointed England having gone out of the World Cup, obviously. So if you're still with me, don't forget I've got memberships. Please don't forget to subscribe and like and share wherever you can. And I have a few things being sent to me that I'm going to be coming up with, which is great. Obviously, I always like to get something through the post, as we all do. Please have yourselves a great day, a great week and a great year, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.